This tutorial provides step-by-step instructions for the application of a reverse sugar tong splint using 3M Splinting Products. Begin by gathering the supplies you'll need to apply a reverse sugar tong splint. When finished, the splint will wrap from the distal palmar crease to around the elbow. Make sure the patient is in a safe and comfortable position, and ensure you're able to easily splint the arm and maintain proper body mechanics. Cast padding may be applied to the extremity to meet treatment goals, or, if it's a fresh fracture, to accommodate anticipated swelling. Potentially constrictive materials, such as stockinette, should be avoided for this procedure. Unless otherwise indicated by the physician, the wrist and hand should be placed in an anatomically neutral position. Let's get started. Select an appropriate width of the 3M splinting material based on the size of the patient's wrist. Material that is about 1 inch wider than the patient's wrist is a good guideline to follow. Measure and cut the splint so it's double the length from the patient's elbow to the distal palmar crease. Reseal the splint roll packaging to avoid hardening the material. To protect the patient's skin from the exposed knit fiberglass edge of the splint, open either side of the seam and peel the felt back. Expose the knit fiberglass and trim 1/4 inch from either end of the splint. Remember to wear examination gloves during direct contact with uncured resin of knit fiberglass. Find the middle of the splint by folding it in half. Don't cut all the way through, leaving a small portion of padding to hang over the thumb. Cut a small triangle in the middle of the splint. Next, you need to wet the splint. The amount of time between activation of the splint material and set time can be customized based on the amount and temperature of the water applied to the material. Using water that's room temperature provides approximately 3 minutes of molding time. To extend the working time, use cooler water. You can open the felt padding at one of the splint edges. Use a bottle of water to wet the interior of the splint. Replace and smooth the felt padding with your palms. Or another option, immerse it in a bucket of water and blot off excess water in a towel. Once your splint is wet and excess water has been removed, hang the cut triangle area of the splint over the fingers, between the thumb and index finger. Now, start overwrapping the splint using 3M Coban self-adherent wrap. Alternatives could be bias-cut stockinette or an ace elastic bandage. Secure the wrap at the wrist and move up to secure the palm. Then wrap proximally up the arm, overlapping each rotation by 50%. Mold the palm of the splint by holding the patient's thumb between your thumb and forefinger and pressing the ball of your hand into the palm of the splint. Keep the arm still for 3 to 4 minutes to ensure the splint sets. The splint will be fully cured within 20 minutes. Thank you for using 3M products.